Awesome. So welcome. I have to quickly just go through the code of conduct with everybody. It's basically we do not tolerate any harassment of any kind at this festival. If you are being harassed or you witness someone who is being harassed, please contact us. There's an email on the website, or there's various other channels that you can reach us basically. So look on the website or find us on LinkedIn, find us on Twitter. We're all over the place. Please let us know. We are here to make sure that this is a safe space for everybody, for bringing people together and expressing fresh voices, etc., etc. We can't do that if you don't tell us if there are things happening. Apart from that, that's the basis of the code of conduct. The actual wording is on the website. Please go and have a look. I am here to welcome the amazing Hana. And Hana is going to talk to us today about can Agile help improve student engagement and retention. So thank you very much, Hana. I'm going to hand right over to you.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Joanne. One moment, I'll share my screen. Can you all give me a thumbs up or something if you can see my screen? Thank you so much. All right. So I do see a lot of familiar faces, but I also see a few people who I have not met before. So I'll take this opportunity and introduce myself. My name is Professor Hana Siddiquee. I am an academic. I teach graduate and postgraduate courses here in the USA. I'm based in New York City, and I have been teaching for a little bit more over 10 years now. I am the founder of Agile and Education USA. I'm a research coordinator for eduScrum and also an USA representative. I am a pioneer in the usage of Agile teaching and learning, and I have implemented Agile teaching learning framework. I've used a few frameworks, Agile frameworks, Scrum, eduScrum, Kanban, and L-EAF, higher education, scaling in the classroom into more than 18 graduate, postgraduate, and undergraduate courses. And it has been going well so far. I'm here today to share my story with you so that you can try Agile yourself. Although I know this is an Agile festival and majority of us maybe already are using Agiles in your products and projects in your daily life even. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Access Agile. Thank you, Joanne, and thank you, the entire team behind organizing this great event. Sorry, excuse me. I am suffering from a cold, a severe cold. So if you see me go on mute, just clearing my throat. So just wanted to let you know. So yeah, I'm here to talk to you about how Agile can help improve student engagement and retention. And before I talk about my case study, I wanted to talk to you about a little bit about our education system in the US itself. So this is this data, this statistics taken from Gallup, K-12 education system in the USA. And this is based off of total percentage of satisfied and total percentage of dissatisfied students. And the data is taken from 2002, sorry, 2020. And you can see the total percentage of satisfied is actually always has been below 50%, which is heartbreaking and concerning. Here, we can see the percentage of students who strongly agree or disagree by grade. And so they were surveyed based off of a few questions. And the questions were, in the last 7 days, I have learned something interesting at school. I have fun at school. At this school, I get to do what I do best every day. And I want you to pay attention again to the data. This is from the students from 5th to 12th grade. And as you can see, as students from, this is from 5th grade. I don't know if you can see my cursor. You can see as the grades, higher the grades, those survey, I have fun at school. At the school, I get to do what I do best every day. Or I have learned something interesting at school, actually going lower and lower. Higher the grade, lower. In other words, the engagement. Sorry about that. Now, here's another set of data that I've also collected from Gallup. And this is a study. This is to adequately address the barriers today's students face. We must first recognize the 21st century students do not fit the traditional profile. Why? Here's the data. 52% in their family to complete college for the first time. 51% low to moderate income. 44% age 24 or more. 42% from communities of color. 30% attending part-time. 28% taking care of children or other dependencies. 26% working full-time. Non-native 80%, non-English speaker 80%, 10% immigrants, 5% active duty military veterans. So when I had started teaching about 10 years ago, sorry, this traditional method, this traditional teaching and learning never made sense to me. It never did. I had always been interested in non-traditional teaching and learning. I had adopted, for example, project-based learning and query-based learning and those type of non-traditional training since the very early in my teaching career. So I'm going to share a case study, as I said. What is Agile education and can it help improve student engagement? While various tools and services can help student success, eduScrum, it is an innovative teaching and learning method, has been proven to be exceptionally effective way to increase student retention. This case study is proven method for teaching and learning and is known to effectively boost student motivation in higher education. Some of the challenges we were facing in my students were, number one, there were low student engagement rates. There were absentees and latenesses. There were lack of motivation, and the students were unable to complete work on time. And so I'm going to share the story with you. Let me tell you a little bit background about the program itself, the courses that I was teaching. This was a new program, concentration program that was offered through me for the first time to MBA majors. And these are business analytics courses to MBA majors. So the students did not have the technical background yet. The students did not have the math background yet that was needed. And let me tell you why, because we use linear programming for this type of analysis. So the students were struggling. Students were struggling to complete work on time. During the first semester, first course in this concentration program, which is winter 19, I used traditional method, lecture-based, stage on the stage, traditional method. And you can see the data from weeks 1 through 7. The average student engagement rates only 61%, which is concerning. I was concerned. I knew it wasn't my student. My students are extremely enthusiastic. They want to learn. I know it wasn't me, but I knew that I had to do something. I had to do something to help my students. So I started studying, going back, looking at my teaching methods and style, and what can I do? How can I help my students? And I thought of Agile because, these are complex topic, complex projects, and my students are struggling to finish work on time. What better way I can help my students but Agile? So just like that, I thought of Agile. I came to class with Scrum on the board, big letters. And so without explaining too much about what Scrum is, I had to call my students in the middle of the classroom, and I did a daily Scrum, a stand-up meeting. And doing it is to have us stand up and do an activity. And he said, excuse me, doing an activity, standing up, doing an activity access to Scrum. My students completed work on back to Scrum in the classroom and Agile in the classroom. So as you can see the data in the following the semester after that, spring 19, my student engagement rate went up to 93%, which itself is a 32% increase. I implemented eduScrum in fall 19, and the average student engagement rates from weeks 1 through 7 is 94%, which is 1% increase. So our success story continues. This is winter semester 2020, and I'm still teaching these courses and 3 other courses in the semester. This semester is when the pandemic hit. In the middle of the semester, we got a notification that we will have to transition from on-site to online within a week and a half, like 10 days. So while my colleagues, majority of the students and majority of my colleagues, including senior faculty members, were struggling to figure out the online features and how to teach online, all I had to do is to send out a few emails and announcements to my students, letting them know that, hey guys, we're going to be online. And this data shows that course 1 and course 2, I actually have 100% retention. The retention rate during that first semester, the first year, academic year in the USA, especially in New York City, was the failing rate, the dropout rate was heartbreaking. So in the midst of that crisis, we've managed to actually increase our retention rate and increase our student percent respectively. So this is the power of Agile, and let me tell you why. Because my students are already knew not only the collaboration I use that helps students, they collaborate well when they are in class, but they also collaborate while they are away at home working on their projects. So they already have the framework, and so and features and components that help my side to online. And so that's pretty much what I had today. I know it's a short presentation today, but I want to interact more with you. And I just want to know a little bit about you, your background, if you have any agile workplace, to hear from you as an academic, that how do I prepare my students to take part in the, it's a, it's a rapidly changing world, and where this the type of environment that students are going to be faced with, we don't really know. We're living in a world where uncertainty is the only certainty. Prepare ourselves so that they can take part in the world. I know I'm doing my best to teach my students how to be agile. Am I on the right track? That's what I want to know from you, and I'll be happy to take any questions that you may have for me. Thank you for listening, and thank you for communicating. Is there any question for me?
Thank you, Hannah. I do have a question.
Are there any educators?
I have a question. My name is Andrea Pratt-Smith. I am a certified Scrum Master, and I use Agile in working with my Scrum team. This time I'm trying to incorporate Agile into order. We actually have a presentation coming up on Saturday. Trying to be unique about it. We're doing the events of Scrum, and we're trying to incorporate a few things Agile as far as being work is interested in being a Scrum Master. So everything I do, she wants to just do Scrum is all about when you have a group of students.
Thank you so much. So, well, Scrum is all about team, right? And teamwork. So it is, it helps teamwork easier. It empowers your team members to help collaborate better. However, I use Scrum in the kitchen, and I'm there mostly my use for personal project, personal life. But I think we're known for serving teams and producing, making collaboration work best with the framework. And yes, that's what I would suggest. But I want to say that you're doing incredible work with your daughter, and I wish you all the best, very best. Wish to join Agile and Education USA, and would love to hear about your
Definitely trying to keep metrics, but I think I can see the difference in how she's performing this year in school versus last year, because this is my second year homeschooling her, and I've seen a difference. Like, she's more excited about learning, because it's, even though we're following a set curriculum, just the fact that she's doing Scrum is exciting for her. That she just wants to be a mini Scrum Master, so that gets her going. And and she likes doing the events, and we actually did our first retrospective, and I'm teaching her so many new apps, which I think is great, because these aren't stuff that she would learn in traditional school. I know that, because even her computer studies class, I'm teaching her how to use Canva, how to create different graphics, and she has her own business, so she's creating her flyers to sell her products. So it's working well, and I'm loving it as well. So I'm learning as she's learning, and I'm just wanting to learn more about eduScrum. and how I can possibly share this, because I know a lot of people, but they are doing online virtual classes. And so if we could inform them about how the principal educational system in the Bahamas.
Oh, right, great. Thank you so much. And you're in the Bahamas. Bahamas, beautiful. And it's definitely on my bucket list to travel there. But yes, sorry, you're absolutely right on that. That it what eduScrum, empowers students in a way that we put the students in the driver's seat. We give them autonomy. They are literally part of planning and driving the learning processes, which excites them with the engagement level. I had never even imagined it could be possible. If I had not done it with my students, I used the traditional methods and then I transitioned to this. Whereas a lot of the people think that we're exaggerating. So what we do is we invite them, like, come and have an observation and see what our students are doing. They don't like to be sitting in a, and like in a cinema hall watching. That's not what they actually excites them or engage them at the level that you would want them to be. Their classmates and the teacher. Sorry, we actually don't refer to our teachers as facilitator. So it's amazing, to be an agile person. They're all ready to take that. There's no stopping them. I students from the beginning of the semester, the middle of the semester, and towards the end of the semester, they're all so confident that, I sometimes, what I do, one of the things I do with my students is that I keep changing plans, like topic wise and project wise. I do it on purpose. So to prepare them that, the life's not certain. Workplace, world, you will see that, hey, nothing is the same anymore. We're not doing the things the same way we used to do. We have to adapt this, change that, and you have to have that agile mindset to do well, and so on and so forth. Thank you. But I'll take other questions if you have. I see Pablo is here. He's my dear colleague. Sorry, he's doing a lot of research. I don't know, Pablo, if you'd like to share something.
Well, we are starting right now in the University of Valencia, so I don't have much to share because we are just starting. So, but we have seen the results that we have had in other colleges are very amazing. They are awesome. So in how the impact in the engagement and the improvement in the commitment and also agency of how they develop the activities. So I cannot say from one year to another year because we are starting and moving on in different colleges and universities. So I hope that in 2 years, 3 years, I could share more than now. But we are seeing results that we cannot a quantitative show or demonstrate. but they are impactful. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I've seen a snapshot of your work, and he's being modest. He has done phenomenal work already. And really looking forward to see what you achieve, you and your students. But yeah, he's doing great work. Thank you. And any other question? Are there any educators here?
I have actually a question. I have no doubt that it is working because I was myself on a free school. So I had actually a little bit more. I could also decide about what I would like to learn. So this is for me is a little different. And what I would like to know is the backlog for your students. Are you filling the backlog at the moment, or is it also so that the students come up with topics that they would like to learn? Because I think I'm working for a big company, and I think about that. I found it very interesting that when you go to a seminar for Agile, you learn it in the traditional way. So you have a teacher and he or she is teaching you what is Agile. Yeah. And I was thinking that maybe we could also improve our work with the adults, that we have groups for a longer time together and they try to explore what is Agile. And then I was thinking, okay, who is filling then the backlog? Yeah. In your context, it's definitely the teacher or the professor. But in our context, yeah, would it make sense that students also fill the backlog with topics? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You've actually brought up, you said you're not an educator, but the way you are thinking, I wish more educators thought this way, and educational institution understood the power of what you have just said and gave us that freedom as academic, as educators. This is actually our impediment, that we have to follow a curriculum. So since we are practicing this under a traditional system, we cannot say that, hey, we're in this class, we're learning data mining. We cannot say that bring your own project. And if we're not there yet, I wish. So what we do is we practice project-based learning. And so project-based learning is that it's not like one-term project that you do. No, everything is projects. So through that, I personally give my students, I'm sure Pablo does the same, is complete the freedom to explore and go out there, maybe pick up whatever topic you want within the discipline. All right. And so that's what I like. It's not data mining, data science, go data science. And that's a pretty huge, elaborated discipline nowadays, right? So this is how I empower my students. And the question you asked specifically, if anybody can add anything in the backlog, absolutely yes. Then that wouldn't be Agile, actually. We're using Scrum and eduScrum. Anyone at any point can add items to the backlog. Priority-wise, it's the product owner who prioritizes it and according to the value. But in the classroom, it's actually a lot more flexible than that. In my class, it's a lot more flexible than that. And believe me, when I do sessions, sometimes my backlog is empty, nothing, no item there. So I'll come, I'm like, guys, it's time to fill up our backlog first, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started. So
cool.
sometimes
Okay.
I'll start the session like that.
The initial backlog, you start with an initial backlog with them together.
The curriculum, you can say, yes, the curriculum is there. I have to use the curriculum, it's there. But in terms of each session, each sprint, I would sometimes ask my students, not all the time, it takes time to prepare your students and take them, the Shuhari level. So when we are at that level where we, sorry, fill up the backlog, then the
Yes.
students definitely take up that role, and they do that. And so it's an awesome experience to see your students doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting what you said with the Shuhari, because I can definitely imagine if you have a team which is in a kind of shoe phase, it's not really able, they can't think also of user stories and filling backlogs and prioritizing it and
Yeah.
take it over. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the question.
I have actually one more question.
Sure.
Because I'm also founding at the moment a democratic school. So in the USA, you call them very often Sudbury schools. And we have long traditions of democratic schools also in Germany because of our history. There are some people who think this is really important to think differently and to learn differently. And also we have there very often the question, if you found something like a democratic school, the students should be also able to decide how they learn. And I was really thinking if we could maybe find a combination to the Scrum part at eduScrum. Do you have other experience with schools? So a little bit
So
smaller ones?
like the
like
K to
Andrea said.
12? The K to 12?
Actually, we start with 6-year-olds until they are 18.
Mhm.
So I was just thinking when you said that with the Shuhari, that maybe in the beginning we have to make it a little bit easier for them and fill their backlog. And when they get older, we can help them more get the vision. What would they like? Would they like to study in the future, or would they go on a job? And what do they need for this direction? And then find groups. So that was my idea, just.
First of all, nice idea. Congratulations. Wish you all the best. And I have not had the opportunity to teach and K to 12 level, but I have a lot of colleagues who do, and they use eduScrum. And this is, I can share one of the comments from one of my colleagues. They said that, it's actually easier, more fun with children, because children are agile, they're born agile. So we actually, their curiosity level is at a peak, right, when you're children. So it's actually easy. I think they will fill up their backlog faster than an adult learner. That's my feeling. I don't know. I have not tried it. But yeah, so there is the very important aspect of Shuhari level, right? So but it has been, as I said, my colleagues who do this on a regular basis, it's been very successful with children, little children, like 6-year-olds and 7th graders, 8th graders, and they have great stories. It's available online. If you go to eduScrum website, you will have access to those videos. Those personnel is trained. A lot of great success stories are there, but I do not have any direct data to share with you at the moment, but I know that it has been very successful. Yes.
Thank you. Andrea has also to, maybe I have to look for LinkedIn so that you tell me some things about your daughter more later on, because I found it was also interesting.
Definitely,
Yeah.
but I agree with everything
Sure.
that Hannah's saying. Hannah's on point. The younger kids, I think that their mind is so open and they're receptive to learning. And versus older students, like adults, it's harder to teach an adult who has a closed mind and they're very judgmental about what you're presenting. And kids make it exciting because they want to learn. They have a hunger for knowledge. And so it makes a huge difference. And once you keep it exciting and you know, theory and practical, they go hand in hand. And as adults, we get theory. And when you implement Scrum, what you're doing is you put in a practical element to the theory. And so now they're seeing it and they're feeling it. And kids learn through feeling. I mean, everybody learned that way. You have to touch all the senses for knowledge to really take place. And it's easier with kids, I would think.
Yes. I have two questions. One is from Nilesh, and he's asking whether there are recommended tools for younger children or templates to use in the education homeschooling. Well, I as I said, I have not had the opportunity to teach children, but eduScrum, the framework, and Scrum also is being used in K to 12 in the US and throughout the world. Actually, in the Netherlands, there's a school that entirely eduScrum. So the framework itself could be, I think, it's a good support to empower such a mindset, agile mindset. So I would recommend that. And then I would refer to Willy and eduScrum if like to know specific tools. There are tools, collaboration tools specifically for children. But thank you for the question. Yeah. And the second is it's a comment from Bracy. I don't know if I pronounced your name right. It strikes me that we are building the future mindsets and cultures people will expect in the future at workplaces. I love this. Thank you very much for your comment. And yes, that is what we are actually trying, that the traditional way of teaching and learning is obsolete, and it needs to change. And we've been started doing this. We are organizing events, conferences, even our second conference, Agile and Education, hosted a conference in March. The Nobel laureate, Professor Mohammad Yunus, was there, and he was all supportive of this Agile mindset. And we have great thought leaders from throughout the world, think tanks, educationists, everyone, supporting us. So we need all of your support, like especially the academic and industry collaboration. If we can, more we have support from you, from the people in the industry practicing. If we are an employer and you say that, yes, we want to hire your students, and that's the type of support we are actually looking for. And it's not that we just want your words and we do want to say, we want to actually work together, hire our students and see if they can bring value to you, that maybe if they have a competitive edge over the others. So these are some of the real projects that we want to take on, and we would really appreciate your support, everyone's support. And yeah, so my call is to, call for action. Enough, we have a lot of listeners and supporters, but we need more actions. We need more work in the field who are willing to do this with us in the classroom, and also be in that agreement, right, that we will support one another. But it's absolutely, we don't have a choice. Education must change, and education must change too, and to the mindset.
Hana, it's Tracy here. I just had a thought as you were talking about the collaboration. Can you hear me? Can you hear me at all? No?
Would you please? You're breaking up. Would you please repeat the question?
I'll message. That's okay. I'll message.
Was I think it was about the collaboration, academic and industry. You're muted, Brazy. But
Can you hear me now?
yes.
Oh, sorry. So I was just saying, I wondered whether it might be useful for the students to see how Agile is actually used in the workforce, and maybe just linking that up, like having a sort of a semi-excursion, or like seeing that what they're learning at school is actually being used in workplaces through some sort of connection process. I just it just struck me when you mentioned that it would be useful for collaboration with industry, I guess.
I wasn't able to understand the question because she's breaking up because of the network connection. But did anyone hear the question? Or, okay, so I heard piece of your question, which, correct me if I'm wrong. I heard about the collaboration between, I don't know if you're referring to grade levels or college level, or you're just mentioning the collaboration between the academics and the industry in the job world. Also, and then how we can do it. I think that's what I heard. But I think from my experience, I can tell you is that our students, they want to work on real work projects. Nothing inspires them more than, real work, real projects. I do have data and I do have projects. And when I have my students and give them those data sets that are real, they know that, hey, this data is taken from this project. They've probably been in part of that project. So it's like, they're doing this data analytics things, business analytics things. So they want to learn that, and they want to apply what they're learning, and they want to apply what they're learning in a real project. So there's nothing inspired them, our students, than working on a real world project. Although we believe in experiential learning, which our projects are all taken from the real world, but those are not, in progress. Those projects have been done, so they just literally review and provide a different recommendation. That's what they do. But if we can have them engage in a real world projects, it's the engagement level is at a different level, and they know that this work is going to be valued, not just they will receive a grade, which really doesn't mean anything. But this work can be used in the real world. So it's a different, and like I said, they then if you put it like that look, you're solving a problem. This projects, it's about problem solving, right? This project, we need to address this, we need to solve this, and this is going to happen, right? In the real world, we're going to implement your solution, your recommendation. It's just, different level of, I guess, yeah. So this is from my experience. That's all I can share, and those are the type of collaboration I am actually looking for. Like I'm my organization, my students, my organization, we're working together. And so we want more organizations to bring us projects and how we can do it, what would be the agreement, what would be their expectation. It'll definitely vary organization to organization, and education institutions to institutions. But that's what we at least need to have the conversation, right? Yeah. So Brace is writing comments. I'm reading it. So she's saying that wondered if you had thought about collaboration with students and industry to show them how Agile is being used in the industry. Oh, okay. Sorry. Like taking them to Agile work. Oh, nice. Yes. Yes. So, so far, look, Brazy, I am one of few professors in the US doing this in the classroom. So I'm doing it within my circle, within my small world. So we do this. We have our students present their work. So, and they also, when they do the presentation, this is a presentation, we prepare them how you would propose your business in the real world. That's how we literally prepare our students. So they do that in collaboration with our network only. but yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. We have not been able to collaborate with any organizations, at that level, at the institution level, no. But just my personal connection, we have done it. And I also have another comment. I'm really enjoying the session, thinking about using Agile in education. Fabulous. Apologies, I have to drop. Thank you so much, Joe. And yeah. So we have not yet been able to execute it at that level, institution level, but the collaboration, little, project wise and presentation wise, that's has been going on. And
Maybe you can explain or just say what is a normal semester? So how does it start? The first session, how many sprints do you have? How long is a semester?
Good question. So I taught both 2 semesters and mini semesters, and also 3 semester trimesters. So, but it is usually 15 weeks, the duration 15 weeks, or I don't think it's ever shorter than 13 weeks. It's just 15 weeks. And so it also sometimes the modality, the teaching modality and the duration is now being, thought and sorted out and are being offered different durations. Some are 7 weeks, but those are compressed. The number of hours don't change. So the instructional hour, don't change. So what happens is that just like you would start off a semester in a traditional setting, that you would start off just, setting the foundation, right? Just setting the foundation, getting the students get to know you and you get to know them. This isn't any different. However, since we are doing this, I'm doing it in higher education, we have to put a little more effort. We have to give the students first unlearn the traditional way of teaching, learning, and then learn the new way. And so first few semesters for us is very busy, very engaging, just laying down the foundation and the mindset. And it is extremely important that you do take your students, give them a chance to explore the mindset. Why? Right? I am a purpose-oriented person. As Simon Sinek says, choose your journey, start with why. I start with why. Why am I having my students learn this new method, getting them out of their comfort zone and do this? This is obviously more work. It's obviously not easy. No one says Agile's easy. So you have to know those things. There's going to be skepticism, a lot of, so you will have to, with adult learners, you will have to answer a lot of whys and you ask whys, right? So have that conversation with the students. Have communication is the key, right? When you are bringing a change, that big of a change, right? It's a flipped classroom, literally, right? It's a flipped classroom. So setting the foundation and addressing the mindset, that's how we start off in the semester. But the other things, few things in a traditional settings, just going over the expectation, the grade distributions, and so on and so forth, it's in place. You cannot ignore that. So it's a combination of both. And yeah.
Do you have a working agreement between yourself and the students?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Working agreement is important, very, very important. So we say expectation. What is your expectation from me, and what's my expectation from you? So, so that could be a simple expectation. I'll give you an example that when we are online, you must have your videos, cameras on, because I cannot be talking to somebody that, I don't know what you were doing. So there's certain things that you can have an agreement. That's an agreement. You and your students come together, you vote on it, and you lay out why. What's the why behind it? Why do I want to see you? Why do I want to see you eye to eye and have a conversation, right? Does it make a difference? So yeah, you're going to have to do hard conversation and then working agreement. I think it's extremely important.
I have one last question. Just bear with me. Do you have situations where you have your students, they break the working agreement, like they wouldn't complete their assignments, or how do you handle situations like that?
Great. Thanks for that question. So situation as, like we say, weaker students who are falling behind, right? It's extremely difficult to engage weaker students, right? However, with this framework, it has made the traditional setting, because the students are working in a team, and because the students, everybody has their individual responsibilities, commitment. We say that commitment to the team, right? So, I'm sorry. So, and then you are using Scrum, right? And the power of Scrum is what? We make our work visible, right? We make our work visible. We use the board, right? Whether it's online, a collaboration tool you're using, or you're in person, that makes the job, I can't put it in a percentage, but way easier than in a traditional setting where you actually have no way of tracking, right? No way of knowing who's doing what people are going through. Here you can pinpoint that this student is struggling. Here exactly this task, the students is not making progress. I don't see the burn down chats, nothing's happening. And that's the opportunity you take. I say that's an opportunity, and you go and have a conversation with the students. But I personally have not faced a situation where I had to have, conversation because of lacking. But there are personal problems my students, they will face, and they will come to me. So that's also a working agreement, right? You come to me with whatever, you can come to me with whatever you need, whatever support you need, you should feel free. That's relationship building, also part of like the working agreement. So once you have that type of understanding, students will come to you. Students will go to their teammates, and that's the power of this framework. I mean, I've had students at the beginning, when they hear that, oh, everything in this class is going to be group work, and 90 to 95% of the time we're going to be working with the students, I don't think it's a good idea. They show their concerns. No, I do not like group work. I've had bad experience in group work. I end up doing everything. So yeah, a lot of resistance at the beginning you'll have. And those same students, towards the end of the semester, when I do retro and I take feedback's gift, they sound exactly the opposite. And they said, it has been the best, experience. My teammates are the best. And that is actually the main goal, that sense of community, sense of belonging. And my students have passed comments about their teammates. It's like, this is different. This class, my classmates are like my family. So that's the part of this framework, and where students struggle less. And if their students are struggling, it's visible. Early detection is something that we suggest. When we use fancy tools, you do not need it in this case. You will be notified right away if you're struggling, and so you can address it. Thank you. Sure. If you're interested to just Joe is not here, but if you hear the recording, if you're interested to implement Agile, please feel free to contact. I will share my LinkedIn with you. Let me stop sharing, and feel free to join us. Feel free to contact us if you are an educator, or you're like Andrea using it at home, or you are thinking about establishing an educational center, like how do you pronounce your name, please?
Catherine. Catherine. Catherine, you can say it in English.
Catherine. Awesome. Please feel free. Please join the community because you are already part of the community, but we just don't know that we are. So just,
Yeah, it
this
was
is my
really
LinkedIn.
interesting.
So, please join us. We hold a lot of events. We're very active. Both eduScrum and Agile and Education USA, we have a research team also. If you are into research, I know Andrea's keeping matrix. If you want to utilize it, if you want to present and if you have something like a case study sort of thing, if you're planning, please come. We have conferences, and you will be able to definitely take part and be part of the journey. And yeah.
Well, I think we have reached the end of this event. Joe asked me to kindly close out for her since she had to leave and set up another event. But thank you, Hannah, so much. This has been very enlightening and insightful, and I will definitely contact you. My wheels are already spinning in my mind how we can work together and collaborate on some projects. So I really appreciate everyone who attended this session, and the recording will be made available for those who did not catch it in person. It's not in person, but live, person, virtual, but who was not able to watch it live. The recording will be made available. Sessions today. Some of you, it's still midday for us this morning, 8 a.m. So we'll be jumping to another session and hope to see you guys soon. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.